I want to thank Gail for the beautiful words of inspiration she gave us this evening. 20 years ago, on September 5th, Mother Teresa died. And 20 years ago today, Princess Diana died. Part of her legacy as a mother of 2 children was the eradication of landmines worldwide. She began the year in January 1997, walking the minefields of Angola with that very famous photo with the Halo Trust. 3 weeks before she died, she walked the minefields of Bosnia-Herzegovina with 2 of my dearest friends, Jerry White and Ken Rutherford, both landmine survivors. The survivors told me, she said that trip sounded like heaven. To help the children, the innocent victims, long after the guns have silenced. I was deeply motivated following her death. Many of us in this room, I'm sure, can remember exactly where they were 20 years ago today. Just like John F. Kennedy, it was a moment in my heart, not only the passing of a princess, but the compassion that she left for those underserved in AIDS, and most especially the landmines. From the heart and the kaleidoscope of my backyard, I looked around and I saw the vintners harvesting beautiful fresh grapes. And I thought, what could I possibly do as a mother of 4 children? On September 21st, 1997, I was asked to host a group of distinguished guests in my living room. 100 people appeared. I didn't know what to give these people, for they came into my room, Jerry White, who had escorted Diana, and I lifted my glass and said, "May the world go from mines to vines." You could hear a pin drop. They asked me to take it out of the living room of my home, the home that was given to me by my grandparents to do something for peace. Here in Sonoma, I'm very, very proud of my own personal roots of peace. I'm the great-great-granddaughter of Captain John A. McNear, who came and was one of the early pioneers here in Sonoma County. And what was passed on to me through generations is the respect for the land and its people. So somehow very deep in my heart, the landmine issue violated what great-grandfather McNear once loved and respected. As years went by, my grandfather was president of the Rotary Club of Petaluma in 1927 and 28, and one of the first presidents in 2 clubs, 4 during World War II. He was president of Rotary San Francisco in 1941. He was there in the War Memorial Building when the United Nations Charter was signed on June 26, 1945. He was a man dedicated to peace. So as his granddaughter, I just ask you, I'm very honored to be here, and I know that the time I have to talk about landmines is very short, but I just am here to invite you to join us in a very special partnership with the young of the new gen peace builders and those here in this room who can take an idea into reality. Roots of Peace today, as a mother and CEO, I manage $100 million under contract in Afghanistan. With partnerships with MAG and HALO, I've helped to remove hundreds of thousands of landmines worldwide, but most importantly, I've created a business model for peace. For after the landmines are removed and the land is no longer held hostage, we train the local farmers to grow high-value crops. And as we speak, I will go back home to my home in Marin County and coordinate the harvest across borders from Kandahar, the pomegranates, cherries in Badakhshan, apples and apricots in Ghazni, Wardak, and Logar. And these very poor rural farmers, which we don't read about in the news in Afghanistan, a country that's 80% dependent upon agriculture. We are training young men and women to lead with the shovel rather than the sword, turning swords into plowshares, spears into pruning hooks, so that nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Interfaith words, Isaiah's prophecy. Please join us. For now we are focusing our eyes on the last day of the Summer of Love. We've had a wonderful time here in the Bay Area. Flower power, concerts, great parties. But the last day of the Summer of Love is September 21st. And I will be hosting a very special celebration at the Walt Disney Family Museum, where Walt Disney's grandchildren join me with Prince Harry on April 4th, when he called forth for the eradications of all landmines by 2025 in honor of his mother, Princess Diana. So I hope you will all consider partnering with Roots of Peace as we create a global grant. Past District Governor Brian McLaren gave us a very generous donation of $100,000, and Jim will be working with us on the matching grant. We hope it makes history for peace. We're going to a place called Quang Tri, Vietnam, where I've worked since 2010. 80% of the land today, 40 years after the war has ended, remains riddled with landmines, UXOs, and cluster munitions. We're training in the best clothes I have on this. We're not only training over 3,000 farmers, giving them the dignity to lead with a shovel rather than the sword, to export the best black pepper in the world. From the former minefields of places called Quezon, Dong Ha, Hamburger Hill, you know these names in the room. Whatever side, 1967 to 2017, 50 years later, and right across the street if you don't think you can do something for peace. Tune in to ABC 7 News on Labor Day on Monday night. Cheryl Jennings is doing a story on Morton and Bassett Spice Company. And our wonderful chef here, the spices you have consumed, most likely the pepper from Quang Tri, has come from an incredible soul and visionary named Morton and Rodney, his son, a father and son team. We're shipping the black pepper across the Pacific Ocean, we're selling it, and the pepper you are consuming is on the former minefields. So please join me as we adhere to the call to action by RI President Ian Risley to plant 1.2 million trees by Earth Day. We planted 5 million trees in Afghanistan. We can do this in Vietnam. So peace out. Thank you. Cheap indiscriminate weapons of mass destruction in slow motion, $3 to put in the ground, about $1,000 to take out. Today I've called forth, it's on BBC Vietnam, you can Google it. We're going to take out all the landmines by 2020. It's going to cost $45 million, and with my Rotary spirit, my great-great-grandparents, we can do this. Thank you.
Yeah.